So, my thoughts on The Last of Us as a game is that it tells a really good story, and I think in a game, and there's not really much more to it than that. It's a game that you play through to basically unlock chapters in a story, much like the Telltale games. And I think it was emotionally resonant for a lot of people. It was emotionally resonant for me. Sorry, I'm just adjusting my microphone as well because I'm making sure I'm not peaking too high. But yeah, it was emotionally resonant for me, and in the same way The Walking Dead was. I'm not ashamed to say it. I had a blood. I mean, I cry at movies anyway. I'm that kind of bitch. But I cried at the end of the Walking Dead games, and the Last of Us is sad as well. It has some very emotional beats to it. So the reality is that they had to tiptoe around the story because the story is all it has. You see, this is why you've got to be so careful with your fucking story. When the game is the story, if you fuck up the story, it doesn't matter how good the game, it doesn't matter what mechanics you introduce in the second one. People who are buying a sequel to a game with a great story want the great story to continue. And these leaks that have come out today, well, bad fucking news bears. The story is outrageously bad. It's gone in a horrible direction, and I'm going to spoil it for you because I think. And again, you can opt out. You can go and watch something else, or do whatever you want to do. I totally respect that. But personally, I'm glad I saw these spoilers because I probably would have got the game. I probably would have paid a lot of money to get the game, probably would have pre-ordered it or maybe got it on launch day or whatever, and it would have been heartbreaking for me, being invested in the characters and seeing them go in this ridiculous direction. And sure, we only know what the leakers have told us, we only know the little snippets that have come out, but fuck me, it's bad enough just on its own, and I'm astounded that people are trying to defend it on its merits, like saying, well, what did you want them to do? Just as an aside, and this will probably all get compiled into a YouTube video or whatever, which is another reason why I'm mindful of, for some reason, I foolishly updated XSplit and it fucked all my audio settings again, as it does. There's this recurring problem now in new media where people they don't want to be derivative and do the same thing. So they try and do something new, but they lack the creativity, they lack the skills to stay within an established framework for whatever reason. And I don't know why that is. I legitimately have no idea why it's the case that so many writers today in television, so many writers today in movies can't do this, but they can't do it. We had it with Rian Johnson. First of all, not really his fault. They had to make a commitment over at Disney. What do you want to do with Star Wars? Do you want a trilogy that has a consistent vision, and it's a J.J. Abrams vision? Or do you want Rian Johnson to come in and completely deconstruct the universe and fuck all the established rules, and ultimately probably destroy some characters, maybe in interesting ways? But no director benefits from one director on, one director off, and then another director comes in, and then you get brought back to finish the story. That's a shambolic way. I mean, you wouldn't write a book like that. It's ridiculous. And yet, people have been saying, like, oh, Rian Johnson's just a hack. Well, he didn't do a great job with Star Wars, but you go watch Knives Out, and even with its preachy, anti-Trump sermonizing, it's a great movie. It's a fantastic movie, and I can't wait to see the sequel for that. So Rian Johnson is obviously a talented writer. I think he was just hamstrung by the format, right? So, anyway, there's this trend in new media, and we see it time and time again, this idea about subverting expectations, and it's a cancer. It's a cancer in writing. Yes, I want surprises. Yes, I want some twists. But ultimately, I want your world that you're writing within to stay within established parameters. And if you can't write a compelling story within established parameters, maybe you're just not that good. Maybe you just shouldn't be writing movies or books or fucking games or scripts of any kind. It is insane now subverting the expectation is like put forward as some sort of virtue in and of itself. It's completely talentless. You could, subverting expectations. Tell you what, I'll rewrite the Bible. Turns out Jesus is a cunt. There you go. I've subverted your expectation. Actually, it was all a ruse. He was never really the Son of God. He was a very clever magician. And when he resurrects, he goes on a killing spree in Bethlehem or whatever. Is that a great story? Did I do good? No, you've just took something. Yeah, you've subverted it, but not in a clever way, not in an intelligent way, not in there's no talent in that. It's actually a lot harder to write within established parameters and tell compelling stories without repeating anything that's gone in the past, right? So, Game of Thrones, another example I'm sure we can all agree with. Game of Thrones was absolutely abysmal. And the writers that, came in and did that, what did they do? They went against established rules. They tried to subvert expectations. They had every character in the last season got absolutely fucked in the brain. Like literally, like that scene in Scary Movie 2 with the dick just through the ears and dead. Like it makes no sense. They all became morons and they all became antithetical to who they were for fucking 7 years, or more. Varys in particular. Me, Varys, bald, overweight, super intelligent, investigative journalist kind of in a way. Got a lot of sympathy for that guy. Yeah, he's also got no dick. I must have got his share, but that's fine. I love Varys, one of my fucking favorite characters, right? In the whole Game of Thrones thing. And he turns into a moron. He turns into a moron in season 8. What does he do? He starts fucking, oh, yes, I'll be writing a letter here, and I'm going to employ a child to poison Daenerys' food, and oh, the guards are watching me now. I mean, he would have fucking run a mile. He would have run a mile, old Varys. He would never have stuck around. If he thought anyone had got wind of him, he would have fucked off and he would have tried to get her another way. That's canonically sound. That's what he's done for prior attempts when it comes to taking people off the fucking throne. Instead, he sticks around. He gets caught out by fucking just regular soldiers and Daenerys, who's a fucking moron. And he gets burnt alive. Terrible, absolutely terrible what they did to his character. What did they do to Tyrion? Tyrion became a fucking simp extraordinaire for Daenerys, even though all the signs were there that she was fucking losing it. And, Tyrion, who's meant to be the smartest guy in the fucking universe, suddenly, and he rats out Varys, a man who fucking saved his life and got him out of King's Landing when he was facing execution. Nah, that just wouldn't happen. Tyrion wouldn't have done that. Jaime Lannister, fucking hell, Jaime Lannister. Jaime Lannister is a man who put his entire reputation and ruined his life to save the plebs of King's Landing by killing the king, who said, I'm not dying alone, burn them all, burn all the plebs, burn all the fucking... Right? And he killed him. He stabbed him in the back, even though he knew he would be called an oathbreaker. And that defined his entire life, that one choice he had to make. And he made that choice for the people. And then in the last season, he fucking turns around and he goes, I never really cared for the people, me. I'd do anything to be with Cersei. I'd kill them all. Like, what? What the fuck are you on about, mate? Just in the season prior, you were talking about how you could see through Cersei and how she was an evil bitch after she left you all to die and fight the fucking White Walkers. They took the core of his humanity, his entire personality, and we're just throwing that out. And then the Daenerys stuff. Daenerys, an heir to the throne whose primary motivator was she wouldn't, under any circumstances, kill innocents, kill women, kill children. She wouldn't use slaves. She was the breaker of all chains. And then what? As she's smashing the fucking wall down, by the way, with just one dragon, despite them having 100 of these things called scorpions designed to shoot down dragons, and they're not even shooting them at her, and she's riding on the dragon, which is like the most dangerous thing she could do. Whatever. That's just general nonsense. That's common or garden nonsense in the grand scheme of things. She gets fucking so jacked up on fucking killing people, she just decides, fuck it, I'll kill all them kids. Literally kills kids, literally just burns children alive. Completely antithetical to who she is. And fucking Jon Snow, who, by the way, while we're talking about simps, it don't get simpier than him. Jon fucking Simp himself fucking rocks up and has to fucking stab her after saying for fucking how many... She's my queen, she's my queen, she's my queen, she's my queen. I don't want it, she's my queen. You just fucking killed... You just killed your queen. What was the point of all that then? You silly cunt. So, terrible writing, okay? Terrible writing is just to get stories over the finish line and subvert expectations. It is a worrying trend right now in modern media, and it's all garbage. It's all just absolute fucking garbage. And we see too much of it. We see too much of it. And garbage begets garbage. I mean, that's the thing. Like, there was nothing J.J. Abrams could do after Rian Johnson came in and went, yeah, what if I just fuck all of those storylines J.J. Abrams set up in the movie prior just to see what happens? What if I have Luke Skywalker just throw his fucking lightsaber off the edge and go drink some green alien titty milk? What if I just do that? And then J.J. Abrams has to come and save it, and he goes, right, Palpatine was a clone, and no. I mean, the film is so bad from a storytelling perspective, it's had more fucking, like, DLC and patches than the average video game. They keep doing press releases over at Disney. Oh, yeah, Palpatine was a clone. Yep. Oh, and this character, yep, gay the whole time. Yep, you didn't see it. It's like, put it in the fucking movie then. You know, like, don't tell me 4 months after in a fucking press release, you mad cunt. It's like, put it in the movie. Nah, we ain't putting it in the movie. Can't do that. Because everything's got to be written to deadline. So, keep in mind, bad writing, subverting expectations, and deadlines. The cancer of the industry, by the way, deadlines. Do you remember when art could just be produced? Do you remember when art could just be produced at a leisurely pace? A movie was done when it was done. You didn't have to make a sequel the next year to capitalize on the fucking, wealth, of that you accrued from the original film. You just waited. Like sometimes, Evil Dead 2 is an example. I mean, it's not a huge blockbuster movie. Do you know, look, I saw that when I was a kid. My grandmother rented that out for me when I was about 10 years old or something. And I watched Evil Dead 2, and at the end, when he wakes up and he's surrounded by the fucking Deadites, and it turns out that Bruce Campbell Ash was really the savior in the book in the Necronomicon. They fucking, I had to wait like 20 years. What was it like? No, it was like 12 years. It was like 12 years to get a sequel for that with Army of Darkness. 12 years. 12 years of just Ash is just stuck in the fucking Deadite land now. Like, I had to wait all that time. I was a boy. I had to wait until I was a man to fucking see the sequel. Yeah, Half-Life. Some sequels, it's just worth waiting for, and they're done when they're done, and it's nice, and sometimes you never get one. Sometimes your favorite TV series, it ends on a cliffhanger, it never gets picked up again. You just have to live with it, and that's that. And then you end up, maybe, if you're lucky, you get something like the Deadwood movie, like, 10 years later. Yeah, here's how all the characters die. Okay, yeah, cool. Deadlines are fucking cheeks, like. The idea of writing to a fucking deadline and having to do it consistently, and it's killed artistic. Scripts have to be written and then rewritten, and you get 10 or 12 guys on that, and then it goes through, and then we got all this, and then in the games industry it's even worse because you have this thing called crunch. You end up with this thing called crunch because the big studio that owns you says the video game must be released in time for Christmas or whatever the fuck it is, or the summer blockbuster season. And it doesn't matter what you have to do to get it there. You will just do it. You will just do it. You will work yourself as close to death as we can get away with to get this video game out so we can make money. And it's like, nah, this ain't how it's meant to be. Really isn't how anything that wants to lay claim to being artistic should be. It just shouldn't be like that. So, crunch. Well, that's the big problem with Naughty Dog. Now, Naughty Dog are a studio that have undergone a lot of fucking changes down the years, and it came out round about when the Uncharted 4 development cycle. It came out that the working conditions for them were hideous, were absolutely hideous, and people were hospitalized in some cases over this. I just want to set a little bit of background as well, because a lot of people want to get into the whole it's another example of go woke, get woke, go broke, right? First of all, that isn't true. Second of all, like as a rule, second of all, it's a little bit more complicated than that. But I'll just tell you, right? There was this great writer that used to be over at Naughty Dog. This was back in like 2014. And her name was Amy Hennig. And Amy Hennig was somebody that had worked on, a lot of games there. She made significant contributions, particularly on Uncharted. She was also like the writer for Legacy of Kain, did Jak and Daxter, and was widely considered to be one of the most influential women working in the gaming space, and was lauded for the work that she did. Unfortunately, her problem was she didn't want to spend her time sermonizing about how rotten the video games industry was. And I've talked about this many, many times. You must, if you want to work in the video games industry right here, right now, and it's been true for the last 10, 15 years, you must subscribe to a very narrow field of view, and you must accept certain things as irrefutable truths. And if you're not willing to do that, then you're in trouble. And it's the same in video games. It's the same in the video games journalism space. And one of the things that she never did, she never held herself. She didn't worship the patron saint of victimhood. She was never interested in that. And unfortunately, because of that, she was essentially forced out of the company. Now, I'll just give you an example of what I mean when I say this about Amy Hennig. You can see down here, this is in the LA Times back in 2010. Okay, so they asked her about being a woman in a man's world, and it says here, as one of very few women in senior creative positions in the video games industry, Hennig is often asked about sexism and challenges she has faced, but she says it's not an issue. Usually it's been men who gave me the opportunities I have had. I think this is a young enough and progressive enough industry that there just isn't any of that. And then she goes on to say, there was an issue with breast size sometimes. I would say to the modelers, let's take that down to about a C cup. But that was as bad as example of sexism as she could think to talk about in the interview. So immediately that like this individual unfortunately is earmarked as being problematic, because what you have to be if you want to work in these spaces is if you're male and white in particular, you have to have a sort of self-flagellating ideology. Holy shit, thank you very much Kune's wow for the 25 gifted subs. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Very kind of you. But you have to have this self-flagellating component to you. Now, I don't think there's anything wrong with sort of self-analyzing, privilege. How can I use my position to help other people less fortunate than me? I don't have a broader problem with that, right? I think being self-analytical to that degree is generally very healthy. But when it comes to the point of you have to signal that continuously in lieu of actually doing other things, this is when it starts to become ridiculous. And as we would go on to see, Amy Hennig was essentially forced out of Naughty Dog. Now, she signed a very aggressive NDA on the way out, a non-disparagement clause, as well as a non-disclosure agreement. But everybody behind the scenes in the games industry believes that Neil Druckmann and Bruce Straley, who were the people who worked on The Last of Us originally, were basically like, nah, like we just don't like her anymore, so we're going to essentially push her out of the company. And they did that despite her having a sort of already finished Uncharted 4 script by all accounts. And they were like, it's not going to impact on any of the game's developments. We're just gonna get rid of it. Out she goes. So that's a key component to recognize, that first of all, within these companies, very often when they are trying to put this message out of, hey, we're trying to be good, like allies is the term they like to use. We believe in feminism, and we want that to be reflected in our art as well as our working environment. Very often these people are massive liars and hypocrites. So if you feel compelled to wake up every day and beat the fucking drum about what a good person you are, brother, you're probably a piece of shit. And that's just the reality about it. Like, good people go out, do good things, and it's its own reward. You don't constantly need the approval, the fucking pat on the back. You don't need any of that. You're content to just do good things for other people. And that's not really like altruism to a certain degree has to be its own reward because there's an element of self-sacrifice to it. So be incredibly skeptical and incredibly wary about people that talk a good game about how they're like pro women's rights or whatever. We've all seen the male feminist memes. Very often, it is a subterfuge for something else, something darker. And in the case of these individuals here, one of the most respected women in the games industry was forced out of a company, we can assume because she wasn't in line, ideologically speaking, with what they wanted to push, which was this idea that, it's a tyrannical space for women. Not her experience, and she was from an older generation as well, was Amy. She was from a generation of people that had been part of the women's rights movement and everything else. So anyway, so that's one thing to think about. But here's the big story that went on at the moment that led to the leaks that we're going to get to. The crunch situation over at Naughty Dog was getting like just out of control. In 2018, Jason Schreier, now of Bloomberg, which, just as an aside, think that's hilarious as well. A man who has talked about being pro-union his entire life, left Kotaku because of its supposed anti-union stances within the whole Gawker media movement, and then joins a publication owned by Michael Bloomberg, a man who himself has been anti-union. So, fine. It's fine. There's nothing to worry about there. It just shows principles, eh? Principles. They're a funny thing, principles. Incredible how quickly they get tested when you get offered six figures. So anyway, Jason Schreier did this interview back in 2018, I think it was, as part of the podcast they do, Kotaku Split Screen. And basically what Jason Schreier is known for now, it's not investigative journalism per se, although how you get your stories you can't really control, but basically he's got lots of wanky friends who work for video games companies because he's a regular on Reset Era, and he's out there, and they come to him and they tell him oh, hey, I'm having a shit time at this games company, and he publishes it. Now listen, I'm not going to knock that, because that happens to me all the time in esports. If people didn't feel they couldn't talk to me, I wouldn't have got a lot of the stories that I've got down the years. So that's not to be critical. But he is lauded as some sort of like best in the business, when in reality, he's very much been on cruise control for a few years. But he did this interview with a Naughty Dog developer who was leaving the company. And in this interview as well, it's sort of vaguely alluded to that like it wasn't a fun working environment. They were taking on like very difficult roles, doing lots of work. It was very demotivating. And you can see, look, it was really hard to imagine getting back into the job and feeling as energized as I was back in The Last of Us or Uncharted 2. And so I just felt there was a shift in me. Something else was building up in me that was like, all right, let's see what else is out there. So reading between the lines, this was also another red flag that there was a lot of crunch going on over at Naughty Dog. And then we had the story, which... This was pretty crazy. I'm using a website called fucking Tweaktown for this, but actually, no, fuck it. I will use the original source. I just don't want to give you a Kotaku overload. But yeah, this was another Jason Schreier kind of follow-up piece this year, back in March, where they were talking about crunch time ahead of getting The Last of Us 2 out. and basically someone ended up being hospitalized because they were exhausted. And I'll just read you some of the quotes from this article. They do try to take care of you during crunch, providing food, encouragement to go take breaks, but for the most part the implication is get the job done at all costs, and the people are working 12-hour or longer days, including weekends. This is something in the industry that I've talked about a lot. You know, crunch time is one of those things. It's gone on too long in an industry that is, maybe when we were talking about passion projects back in the day and video games weren't this huge ubiquitous medium that make more money now in a lot of cases than the average movie release. Back in the day, maybe crunch was an acceptable thing. Maybe it was something you took upon yourself. But what happened was, as those people became executives and those small companies got bought by big corporation companies, somewhere in that crunch got metabolized into the fucking industry as just normal. And there's no excuse for it. There's no excuse to work somebody 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, them sleeping under their desk because a big corporation has set a deadline. You get additional hands on deck. You get short-term contractors. And funnily enough, they do that in addition to crunch. You find a working solution, or you just delay you just push the date back. You can't work people to the brink of death because you want to hit a deadline, because you've got a financial report going out and you need to sort of say, well, you know, we released the game on time to great sales. Equally as well, it's anti-consumer. When people are working under crunch, when people are tired, you get an inferior product. You get an inferior product. So you end up with a fucking all the coding bugs. And what are you doing? Then you have to crunch to roll out a day one hotfix or a week one patch. You know, it is garbage for everybody. And a lot of the time, when you rush a game out as well, it's not actually all that good for business, because a terrible first impression lasts. Some games will never recover financially. Some studios will never recover reputationally. You only get one chance at a game's launch, and it should be as close to perfection as it can be. And honestly, that would benefit all parties. But big corporations, they ain't never going to see it that way. Give me deadlines or give me death. They're a fucking joke. So, anyway, you can see there was one quote. You can see here, this is another developer working on The Last of Us 2. At a certain point, you realize I can't keep doing this. I'm getting older. I can't stay and work all night. And that's another thing as well. As you acquire expertise, generally you do it over a period of time. You're getting older. You know, I feel this way. When I used to go to esports events back in the day, it was fucking, right, I'm not going to sleep for fucking 3 days. That's fine. I can do that. Right? And if I start to flag, I grab a power hour, you know, under a table or in a press room, and I power through, or I have a line, or we do some speed, and we just get to the end, and I can collapse in a puddle and sleep for 2 days when I get home. That's how I used to do esports coverage. So, but when I got to like 30, like, that's not fucking viable. It's not viable even as you hit 30, 32... 33, like, you fucking feel it. Like, you fucking feel it. So imagine being 40, 45. There's crunch. You physically can't do it anymore. But you're the expert now because you've got 15 years, 20 years industry experience. So the expectation is that you will do it because you need to do it. You're overseeing the project now. You've been promoted. Nah, crunch on older folk especially is unbelievably tough. And then there was another quote, if I remember rightly, down here. Where was it? That was the Burnout one. Yeah, here you go. There's a lot of pushing your current workload aside to meet real-time demands that come across your desk. Do this thing you weren't planning for, that other thing you weren't planning for, plus here's what you were planning for, do that as well. And that's the other problem with crunch. Like, you've got so many people, so many moving parts, everyone's fucking doing a bit of everything, and then all of a sudden this fucks up, and you're the expert in fixing it. So now you've got to fix that problem while meeting your workload on top, and then snowballs. Like, during crunch, you think you have a to-do list, and you just work through it, and it's difficult. But actually what starts happening is your to-do list, it piles up, and you've got to fix all of those problems as well. It's literally all hands on deck. So it's a terrible environment. And Naughty Dog, you know, usual stuff you hear from all these studios that do crunch. You feel obligated to be there later and later because everyone else is doing it. There's this thing, what's it called? Is it trauma bonding? I don't know if people are familiar with that term. I think that's the correct term. But basically, it's the idea that, well, I'm in a bad situation, they're in a bad situation, at least we're in a bad situation together, so you actually turn a blind eye to the reality of what's causing the bad situation and how you could fucking alter it, and you just power through. And there are so many big corporate entities that rely on like trauma bonding among its staff that it's like, well, hey, what we'll do is we'll even get the manager to come in and say, hey, I'm right here with you, but they're sleeping in the office with the blinds down and the door locked, right? You know, but this idea that, oh, we're all in it together sort of means that you lose sight of the fact that it shouldn't be happening in the first place. Trauma bonding. It's why a lot of games development companies are very cult-like in the way people get very upset if you ever criticize the company, even if it's something like really minuscule. Like, you know, for example, the classic Riot Games example is, you know, I Will Dominate saying at an after party, I thought that skin was shit, and him getting a year ban from competitive play because of that, because everyone feels the need to defend the company. And then people leave Riot and they go, yeah, the company was a bit shit actually and did all these bad things. It's like you've been deprogrammed. And it's like, for fuck's sake, you know, why not speak up at the time? They don't. Trauma bonding, you know, we're all in it together. It's all a bad time. So anyway, because Naughty Dog had this terrible crunch time, and on top of that, there's rumors that people haven't even been paid for the work that they're going to do, all of this starts going public. And then, in the last 24 hours, what do you think happens? A disgruntled worker or partner leaks actual gameplay footage from The Last of Us 2, deliberately picking out narrative story beats that they know will drive the fan base insane and drive down sales. Now, couple of things. One, I'm not going to show the footage because it'll be subject to a copyright claim and I could get DMCA'd. All I'll say is it's still out there on the internet. It's still out there in some Twitter accounts. If you want to find it, you can find it. Second of all, this is your last chance to get off Richard's wild ride before we start talking explicit spoilers. 3, I will add, if you have any reservations, I would urge you to hear the spoilers, because I think if you're a fan of the first game, what they've done with the story is so egregiously bad, you need to hear them. And point 4, this is not going to descend into SJW bashing or whatever the fuck you want to call it, because that's not who I am. And there are a lot of people that have put misinformation out there to twist the story and give it that kind of appearance. Now, with all of that said, let's get into what happens in the fucking story. So, this is what's confirmed. Now, if you play the first game, you know how it ends. It ends with that weird uncertainty, that great moment where you're not sure, but you have an inkling that maybe Ellie knows that Joel is lying about having told her that They couldn't do anything, and they found somebody else who had a cure, and that was why they drove away. And just don't worry about it. They didn't really need her anymore, and she made him swear to her that was true. And of course, he told a lie because he loves her so much. He's learned to love again. A broken man who lost his daughter. He now has a surrogate daughter, and Ellie suspects that he lied, and it leaves it there. And it's a great way to end a story. It's beautiful. It's what they did narratively throughout that story. Few cliched moments, but in general, that is how you subvert expectations and you do it correctly. For example, they made you play as the daughter in the opening scene, and she gets fucking killed and dies in Joel's arms. I remember playing the game when it came out. You're probably not expecting that to happen, right? That is how you subvert an expectation, and you use gameplay mechanics to create emotional resonance within your player. The Last of Us did a lot of things correct. So we're now in the future, and here's what we know. So Ellie and Joel, for whatever reason, their relationship has become strained. They're now estranged from each other. Ellie's in a settlement and has a girlfriend now. By the way, just on the topic of people bashing fucking the SJW agenda, the gay agenda. I don't know where those people are coming from, because canonically it was established that Ellie was gay anyway. So I don't know why people are angry about it now. I feel they're either trolls or they're like Johnny-come-latelys to the story. I think most of us just don't have a problem with that story beat at all. So they've been estranged for a few years. We don't know why. We don't know the details of that. That hasn't leaked yet. So you then play through the game as Ellie, right? And what happens in the game is that there's a surgeon that you have to kill in the first game. It's a quick time event, and you can go through and you don't have to kill everybody, but there's one surgeon that you have to kill to get Ellie out in the first game from the operating table, because the story is that to get the cure for the cordyceps fungus, they have to dissect her brain. It's the only way to extract the cure. Joel says, nah, you're not killing my new kid. And he gets her out. And the surgeons are just surgeons, right? They're mostly innocent people. They're working on a cure to save mankind in their minds. In fact, honestly, there's a compelling argument to say Joel's a bit of a cunt, because he's willing to do mankind for his own feelings. And Ellie was willing to sacrifice herself. But anyway, by the by, so there's a surgeon you have to kill. You just have to do it. Now, that surgeon has a daughter called Abby. And Abby is a huge, muscle-bound teenage girl, from what I can tell. I've seen the images of this girl. She's fucking hench. There's no doubt about it. And she wants to get revenge on Ellie and Joel for killing her father. Or was it mother? Anyway, killing her parent. I always forget with the masks. So she is massive. And she is hunting down Joel and Ellie. Now, there's this other kind of storyline that's going on where the bad guys in this game are a cult, a Christian offshoot cult. And they hate gay people. Now, when I talk about subverting expectations and bad writing, let me just tell you, I will pick this up as an issue, because in a post-apocalyptic landscape, that homophobia is going to be so low down on the list of priorities that it seems insane to me that they would have an issue with it. But that is something that was actually, just to show you, because there was leaks prior to this leak on 4chan. It was actually reported over in Pink News, which is the gay newspaper of record. There's the headline. Oh, you can't see it 'cause it's done that thing where it's all black. I'll read you the headline. It basically says over in Pink News, The Last of Us Part 2 is rumored to be a tale of bloody revenge against the homophobic Christian cult. And they used a 4chan leak as the evidence for this in their reporting, which was supposedly from a family member of somebody that was working on the story, and I'll just read you this here. The now deleted Last of Us 2 plot leak, which read, I am the immediate family member of someone working at Naughty Dog, the Last of Us 2. As you know, The Last of Us 2 will be Ellie-centered, obviously. The story's main driving point is the romance that briefly kindled between Dina and Ellie. Ellie and Joel are distant because of Joel being controlling, stemming from the decision he made in The Last of Us, but are starting to try and mend the relationship. There's a love triangle short, but not exactly a triangle, as it's just two people who love Dina, being Jesse and Ellie. Jesse, who is the Asian guy you see in the trailers, and Dina used to be a couple because Dina's bisexual. Due to Dina being the girl every guy wants and having a history of dating men, Ellie doesn't know if the relationship's real. This is all the like setup shit at the beginning when apparently it's like really, really casual and relationship building and there's no conflict at all. However, after several flirtatious gestures, Ellie begins to question if Dina really does love Ellie, and Ellie ultimately begins to fall for her. Act 1 concludes with Diane and Ellie sharing an important intimate moment, solidifying that means Dina and Ellie solidifying the relationship. That is it until they are interrupted and attacked by a religious sect called the Seraphites. And they're the main antagonists. There's another group called the WLF. The Seraphites believe they are angels cleansing the wasteland. The end of world is because of the sinners trope. Anyone that is not a Seraphite is considered a wolf, an enemy of the flock. They also refer to themselves as lambs. The Seraphites don't like gays because it is a sin. And again, listen, while I have no doubt the Christians will be wilding come the apocalypse, as will every other religious group out there, because every religion seems to have an apocalyptic scenario in it. So they'll all be like, see, told you. I just think probably low on the list of, avoiding getting eaten by zombies, foraging for food, avoiding other groups that are going to come and try and ice you, especially other religious groups, to prove which one true fate, because that's just going to go on until the end of fucking time. Probably battling teenage girls lesing off probably is really low down on the fucking list of apocalyptic priorities. What the fuck do I know, though? It just seems insane to me that is a story beat, but whatever. This is why their members are white males with shaven beards or white women, and the few apostates, traitors that leave the group tend to be minorities. Ellie vows to get revenge on the group. So that was the leaks over at 4chan. So, and that was like about a month or two ago before these new ones, and it seems to have confirmed, quite a lot, right? So, anyway, the next part of the story that you absolutely have to know about is that I think it's the religious group attacks the settlement, the community that Ellie is now a part of with Dina, her girlfriend, and Jesse. And Jesse, the Asian dude, gets killed. This pisses off Ellie and Dina, and then they're going out to try and hunt them down. And that's when Joel comes back into the picture, because we all know one thing: Joel is a badass motherfucker. He ain't a nice guy. I think the line that fucking sums it up for me, The Last of Us, was when he was talking to his brother, and he goes, I got us through all the bad times. You survived because of me. And his brother goes, it wasn't worth it, right? Because they were out there doing fucking heinous shit to survive. So anyway, Joel comes back. He's all old. He's weathered now. You can go see the images. Joel is an old man, but he's still got some fucking juice in the tank, supposedly, and he's like, yeah, I hope you get these motherfuckers. But this is all part of Abby, this big hench teenage girl, it's all part of Abby's plan. And this ultimate spoiler, they get Joel, and the teenage girl Abby kills Joel by caving in his skull with a golf club. So Joel, the baddest man in the apocalypse, a guy who survived like 20, 25 years or whatever it is from his daughter's death, somebody who we saw literally battle through like innumerable odds, gets basically caught out and then brained to death by a teenage girl. So just putting that out there. I mean, she's a very big teenage girl, and Joel is old now, and he probably got a little bit soft and a little bit paunchy, but straight golf clubbed him to the dome. And it's 100% confirmed he's dead. It's not like oh, it's an accident, or it's a trick that they've leaked, or it's an optional cutscene. No, because in the video footage they released, it fast forwards to the future, and they're talking about Joel and going, yeah, Joel's dead, like 100% Joel's dead. There's even a picture of Ellie putting flowers at some grave for Joel. He's gone. He's dead. Joel's dead. Joel's 100% dead. Now, here's the thing. I'll add this. I thought Joel was going to be... I thought he was either already going to be dead, because there was that in the original trailer that came out where Ellie was singing and playing guitar. It looked like she was talking to him and said, I'm going to kill them all. And like he was a ghost, which also was a terrible trope. But I would have preferred it. I would have preferred it if Joel had just died in a fucking mysterious way that we didn't know about, and he was Ghost Joel for the whole of Last of Us 2. I would have preferred that, actually. I would have fucking preferred that, I think. If it was fucking Ghost Joel and Ellie's adventures, it would have been fine. And maybe the story could have been she's turning into Joel and channeling him by trying to get revenge for him. And, you know, that's no life. And it's not what we want for our children, right? We don't want our children to be like us. We want our children to not have it as hard as us. We don't want them to make the mistakes we make. So they could have done something there with it. Like, you know, but whatever. I'm obviously a terrible writer, so what the fuck do I know? So instead... what we've got is this situation where Joel gets killed in like the worst way imaginable, and I'm happy for him to die. I'm happy for him to die in a sacrificial way. I'm happy for him to like tell her the truth and then die saving a life or some other cliche thing. But like his death has to have meaning, and instead he gets brained by a giant teenage girl. It's so insane to me. It's so insane that is the way they've gone, and understand why this will be a problem for everybody. Because within the moral ambiguity and the shades of grey, what we played most of the game as Joel, right? We shared his pain in the opening scenes. We grew to love Ellie in the same way he did. In a lot of ways, Joel is our avatar. And I think one of the most powerful things that the first game did was it put you in a headspace where you are willing to fucking kill to get Ellie out. Those surgeons ain't done shit, but fucking get your hands off Ellie, man. I'm gonna pop you in the head, like. When he's torturing that guy by shooting him in the stomach to find out what floor she's on, you're like, yeah, fucking do it. Torture that fucking guy. You know, you're 100% right there with him. And as you fucking drive off, having potentially doomed humanity, right, you feel pretty good. You're like, yep, fucking did it, killed them all. Like, I think, and it's only after the game you pause for thought and go, wait, was that actually a happy ending? Because I'm not too sure it is. Right? But you feel great, don't you, as you fucking drive off. Country roads, I killed them all. You're fucking loving it. So you essentially are Joel in the first game. So to not have Joel in the game as a playable character, and then to have him come back and get killed by a teenage girl is so... it's such a staggering misread of what the fan base wanted. It's not that you can't kill him. It's not that we want him to have plot armor. It's just that you've killed him in an unbelievably shit way with an opponent that isn't even worthy to have done it. And by all accounts, he dies for absolutely nothing. So just as you're getting past that, Abby, the giant teenage girl, also wants to kill Ellie and Dina. And she beats Ellie to a pulp. There was a lot of misinformation going around that Ellie gets killed as well. I'll come to that in a second. But basically, Ellie gets fucking smashed to bits, and she's going to kill Ellie and Dina. And Dina says, listen, I'm pregnant. She's pregnant with dead Jesse's baby. And the guy who was with Abby, who's kind of been following along with her, says, like, listen, don't do it. You know, you basically turn into a monster if you kill a pregnant girl. So they don't. So apparently they get to live. Right? They apparently get to live. So then... oh, wait. No, sorry. I've got the chronology wrong. So that happens. You have to play as Abby. So after she kills Joel, and Ellie and Dina are like planning revenge and stuff, you switch to Abby. So not only does your favorite character die at the hands of a giant teenage girl who you will then obviously immediately hate from a storyline perspective, you then have to play as the giant teenage girl because the writers want to flesh out and say, well, listen, she's got her reasons too. Look at what's going on. So now you're absolutely spewing at what's happened. But you have to play as the person that's making you spew. And also, that second half of the game, this is what I mean, I got it chronologically wrong. That second half of the game, not only are you playing as the person that's killed Joel, you're hunting down Ellie. So, like, wait, my daughter? It's my surrogate daughter? Like, the person I spent an entire game I doomed humanity to save her. What the fuck are you talking about? Now I gotta play as a giant teenage girl to kill her because some fucking extra in the first movie got fucking whacked. Insanity. So, even if you could stomach the first half of the game, who's playing the second half? Who's hunting down Ellie with a giant teenage girl? Who's doing that? So, that is why, okay, the Last of Us leaks coming out. Oh, like, guys, trust me. To call these spoilers, you shouldn't use the word spoiler. The spoiling occurred in the fucking writer's room. That's where the spoiling occurred. This dude who leaked this, I saw people going, oh, he's undone all their hard work. And he's a fucking hero, whoever leaked this. Deserves a fucking medal. During a fucking pandemic, when people don't have money heading into a recession, you might have thought about spending that $60 on that game. Well, fucking don't. Don't do it. Not if you gave a single solitary fuck about the first game. Don't you do it. Do not do it. Because how can I watch Joel get brained by a teenage girl, then play as said teenage girl, hunt down my surrogate daughter who I doomed humanity for, just so we can say, man, isn't the cycle of revenge a horrible thing? So, and apparently the game ends, and I believe this is also a confirmed leak, not a speculation, but it sort of ends with Abby and Ellie have like a fight to the death, but she doesn't actually kill Ellie. Like, it's like left like a cliffhanger, like Ellie's badly beaten and fucked up. And remember, you've done that. And then it ends like, well, what's gonna happen now? Because now Ellie's group's gonna go after Abby, and it's like, why can't we all just get along or something? There cannot be a The Last of Us 3. Like, anyone who buys this game, like, is just such a glutton for fucking punishment. It's mind-boggling to me. And as I said, subvert my expectations. Like, please. There's some other stuff in there that sounds kind of interesting. Like, apparently everyone in that Christian homophobic cult is immune to the disease. And because they do a test, they cut people with, like, an infected knife. And if you don't turn, you're in the group. So there'll probably be some interesting story beats off the back of that. But the fact that they're running around hunting down the big gay in, like, the apocalypse is just too stupid for me. I just can't handle that. I just can't handle that as a fucking story at all. Can anybody handle that? I just don't think that would happen, like, at all. Like, again, maybe I'm being too optimistic for mankind, but I just kind of think the lack of running water and food and supplies, it's like, what do you want to do today? Well, we could risk a supply run, but I did hear that camp 20 miles that way might have a teenage lesbian in there, so we'll go get them instead rather than securing the food and the water. Yeah, absolutely. We got to get them gays. Like, it just don't make no fucking sense. It just don't make no fucking sense. And it doesn't make any sense within the world. Like, when was any of that set up? You know, like, you can see what the cause for conflict very clearly in the first game was. It was that we need a cure to get mankind back on its feet and get humanity back to, you know, some semblance of where it used to be. We've descended into brutality. What are we willing to sacrifice to get back our humanity? And is it worth making that sacrifice for a system that clearly wasn't all that great anyway, because it all fell apart in seconds? So that is the broader philosophical question there. There was no like homophobia or fucking racism, or, you know, there was no like subtext. There wasn't, or even they didn't even introduce like the religious component of it to a great deal in the first game. It was just, you know, everything that happened was kind of believable. It was sort of plausible. Even down to the way that they're not zombies. It's the cordyceps thing, which has like some sort of like rational scientific basis, right? So to then introduce a white religious group that are roaming around the apocalypse, killing sinners, it just feels so regressive and so silly within the context of the established world. It really does. So anyway, all of that said, you know, these fucking the story's just gone to absolute shit. And like I said at the start of the stream, these are not games in a traditional sense. These are interactive stories. So when you narrow the parameters down and you make people do things that aren't like morally ambiguous, or they don't make you make a difficult choice that has a lasting impact, like, you know, a Telltale game gives you the illusion of doing that. You know, you save one person, and you have to let the other die. But then of course that turns out they both die no matter what, just at different stages in the story because of how it's written. But, you know, whatever. What they do here is they take the sole reason to come back to the well of storytelling, and that is like, what happens to Joel, what happens to Ellie. I mean, they're realistically the characters you care about coming out of it, and you just give them the worst endings imaginable and make me play 50% of the game as a character that I should absolutely despise and can't possibly build any empathy for because they're a brand new character, and their introduction into the game is killing another beloved character. It's not gonna work. Think about, okay, let me think of a classic example, and it's a different genre, but think about Warcraft 3 and Arthas, and how you slowly but surely go off the rails, and then when he's the bad guy, and now you play as him as the bad guy, right? It gives you an entire campaign to get into the headspace of why he's an evil cunt, and then when you have to play as the evil cunt, you go, well, I did play through a full fucking campaign, so I want to see where his story goes now, right? What they've done here is a giant teenage girl that has like some vague, tenuous reason for revenge, and is somehow capable of getting said revenge, and she's just killed one of your favorite characters from the first game and play, and it's, nah, there's no way. Like, that is awful. That, like, there's no, you know, like, if anything, why not start as Abby? You know, at least maybe give me the first half of the game, like, find out a reasoning and a rationale, and then I have to kill Joel, and then you switch to Ellie. Right? Because now, the moral ambiguity of it all, well, it's like, okay, well, Joel did kill, you know, her parents, so, I mean, I kind of get why she did that. It would still sort of suck, but then, like, Ellie going after her, now you've got to essentially kill yourself as the protagonist with a beloved character from the first game. You do it that way round, it kind of, you know, it makes more sense thematically and logically to the brain. Doing it the way around they've done it is so bad. It's staggering to me. But anyway, let's move on to the next part. of all of this. So they're the leaks. There are a lot of unconfirmed leaks out there. There's a big thing about, you'll see a lot of the incels and the weirdos and the creeps doing a big thing about going, like, saying the Abby character is trans because she's hench. I don't think that's established at all, and they're just using it as the same old tired way of, like, you know, bash on fucking trans people because they got nothing better to do with their time, and it's pathetic. But anyway, you know, it's another reason to avoid getting into the fucking weeds. Let's look at the official Naughty Dog reaction. It's so crazy. So the leaks come out, they're verified. There are a bunch of people, you know, going out there and, you know, oh, this guy's so bad, he spoiled everything. Like, he ain't spoiled my day at all. Like, fucking thank you. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Like, I needed to know this before I sat down and played the game. Because I'm pretty sure I would have smashed my fucking controller to pieces watching Joel get fucking domed by a teenage girl. I'm sure he not just saved me the $60, he saved me all the damages I would have done to my fucking house when I put my fucking fist through a wall. Right? Like, because who the fuck's gonna be happy with that? But anyway, here's their official response. I can't believe it. It's so... Oh, yeah, I bet there were some replies in. It's so repellent. A message from the studio. We know the last few days have been incredibly difficult for you. We feel the same. It's disappointing to see the release and sharing of pre-release footage from development. Do your best to avoid spoilers, and we ask you don't spoil it for others. The Last of Us Part 2 will be in your hands soon. No matter what you see and hear, the final experience will be worth it. What do you mean? Like what? Are you going to rewrite it for me? Because I'll tell you now, it ain't going to be worth it. I'm like fucking... I'm Joel's brother right now. It isn't worth it. It's not worth it. It's not going to be worth it. There's nothing that could be worth it. There's nothing. Not unless there's a secret level where I get to play as fucking Joel going through hell as the Doom guy or something. There's no way. There's no fucking way. But it's just this ridiculous gibberish that they just expect you to just take it on the chin. And by the way, I'm terrified to even scroll down on this. Like, there's just some... There's just... I mean, that was a pretty good tweet. It's time to put Naughty Dog to sleep. I agree. But I'm too scared to scroll. So you just get Yakuza instead. You just get the Yakuza dance. And they... You notice how, like, the Yakuza games, they never strayed, did they? They never tried to... we kill all the main characters and... you know, they never did that, did they? They stayed true to themselves. Anyway, a lesson for us all. But Naughty Dog just said, like, listen, it's going to be worth it. You absolutely no. I'm not buying your game. I'm sorry. You can beg, you can cry, you can say don't do spoilers. I think anybody that knows how this game ends and knows the storyline of this game, which is now established with evidence, you owe it to your friends if they liked the first game and haven't seen these leaks. You owe it to invite them over, sit them down, and tell them the bad fucking news. Because you can't let them go and buy this game and play it. You absolutely can't. Like, and it begins. It actually begins. You see, because you can you can honestly churn out shit. And as long as it's on message, the games press will fucking rally round and they'll just tell you, like, listen, don't worry, we got your back. Like, you're trying to do the good thing. So, you know, this is something that was so antagonistic to all of the player base. But no, like, the stories have already been coming out, and expect this for, like, however many days now. Like, expect this for, like, this is the message now for, I don't even know how long it's going to be. You know, all of the fucking, you know, the next week, right? Check this out. Already VG 24/7. Don't judge The Last of Us Part 2 by its leaked story details. No, thank you. I actually will, because these are not games. These are stories. And this story fucking sucks ass. It sucks Satan's puckered, unwashed asshole. It's that bad. There's no fucking way. Right? Let's stop pretending that these are like games. They're not. They are stories. They're interactive fucking stories. And this story is trash. Okay? So you got that one. The Lad Bible, which, by the way, Lad Bible, incredibly, is one of the most woke garbage fucking publications out there these days. I mean, you know, maybe you might want to change your name, but Lad Bible, judging The Last of Us Part 2 from leaks is seriously dumb. It's seriously dumb. It definitely ain't dumb. It's actually very intelligent. It's a very smart thing to do. I'm not saying the story won't have good elements. I'm not saying there might be some interesting elements that haven't been leaked. But that person that leaked that leaked these videos did it because they knew that the fans would absolutely loathe this story. And why is that? Why is that? Well, all the reasons I've just listed. So no, thank God. Do judge it. Judge away. So you end up with this just ridiculous situation where it's like you're not even allowed to question the plate of shit they fucking serve you in the restaurant. You've just got to fucking take it on the chin. You know, the story's fucked. Everyone you loved is dead. Don't worry about it, though. Don't think about it. Buy the game and buy the next game and buy the game after that. It'll be worth it totally, 100%. Fuck these people. Like, it's ridiculous. So there you have it. The Last of Us 2. Joel is dead. And he gets killed by a giant teenage girl. And Ellie gets beaten to within an inch of her life by said teenage girl. And you have to do that. You do that to your surrogate daughter. Great game. Great concept. Big fan. Well done, Naughty Dog. Meanwhile, they would have got away with it if they just treated their staff like humans and not like absolute garbage. Great times.